This is the Cathedral Passage. This is the start of the tour, and this section here would at one time have gone all the way to the cathedral. Sadly, it isn't in existence anymore. This section of passageway here is dating from 1347, makes it 662 years old today. This was the section which was used in 1942 as an air raid shelter by a lot of the local people. There would have been maybe 200 people squashed into this very narrow, uncomfortable section for up to 2 hours at a time. And apparently you could hear the bombs dropping overhead and they made the walls shake. This is part of the basement of the old city east gate. That was built in 1509 and unfortunately was knocked down in 1784 to make way for wider roads. And sadly, within the space of 25 or 30 years, all the main city gates were knocked out of the city wall for the same reason. Above our heads today in here, we have one corner of Boots the Chemist on the High Street, above the ceiling here. And the other tower of the East Gate would have stretched almost all the way across the road to where the next building is. The passageway here is quite an interesting place to stop because further down you can see some daylight shining through, and that's where the main air vent is, and that comes up in the pavement by the side of the old Debenhams building. And we can hear traffic here because by the road running down by the side of the Debenhams building is where we're standing. We're underneath that now, and occasionally the traffic gets quite loud, especially when the traffic lights are first changed. The ceiling in this section is a different style to the rest of it. This is a cheaper way of building a load-bearing ceiling. It's called truncated triangular. It's basically a triangle without the top point on it. People often imagine that this has been bricked in recently to stop people going any further, but this was in fact always the end of the passage. When the passageways were built, they stopped at the edge of the city at the time of their construction. There wasn't any point in taking the passages any further because they were very expensive to build and to look after. Beyond this brick wall, the pipes would have continued, just buried loosely in open farmland. Today, the farmland is part of the city and it's a built-up area.